Now hit my theme music.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome again. Welcome again. An impromptu to a very special broadcast. You know, very special. Welcome to everybody that's listening to Charles Faulkner Jr.'s channel. I am known as Chaos Rain, as always, and I'm here with one and only Charles Faulkner Jr. All right, all right, all right. And let's see, what is the subject? Let me go for my phone. Look at the title. Let me just look at the title for a second, because I always got to read out the title before we start. The title for tonight's stream is titled "Are Men Delusional in Their?" Hold on, let me just make sure. All right, and let's see, what are men delusional in their expectations in women? You will know tonight, and you will get the full conclusion in this answer. So, no further ado, I'll let Mr. Faulkner go in on this.
How you doing? How you doing? Hopefully you are all styling and profiling, shit talking and dirty walking. Hopefully all the lovely ladies out there looking immaculate are being feminine unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling today, Chaos Rain? Woo!
I'm feeling wonderful tonight. I'm feeling wonderful like always. I'm so busy, going through YouTube, listening to such very good content. I can't complain. I think today was very interesting. I can't say it was a bad nor a good day, but a very interesting nonetheless. When it comes to the women and the men in this community, especially how the men view reality and how the women don't deal with reality. But that's just me.
See, shout out to Sister George and Concrete Rose, because they try to act like, well, I'm not going to try to, because I got love for both of them, and I had a pleasure saying my piece and they said their piece on their channel, and they were talking about, are ugly people discriminated against? You got to understand, everybody plays pretty politics. What's up, George Frazier? Woo!
Mm-hmm.
See, it had me thinking, are men, black men in particular, are we unrealistic in our expectations of women?
Mm-hmm.
See, you got to understand something. When we come up in today's world, are we supposed to have a set standard for women? But they have numerous, I mean, literally, they have the Dead Sea Scrolls of what a man's supposed to be. But then you look at the reality of it, why don't you have one of those men?
Mm-hmm.
Feeling good, man. I got to re-up a cigars.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. Hit that like button when y'all come in. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yep.
And I think it's crazy because When men, black men in particular, have expectations, hell no, we're not the 80% of them aren't shit. See, that's
Mhm.
the problem. And I'm glad you said that, George Fraser. Shout out to Just DeAndre, the greatest rival and friend you can ever have. Woo!
Mhm.
And
Good,
Sheriff,
Dre. Yeah. Yeah.
I want you to get up on here too, as well.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind women having expectations for me,
Mhm.
but don't be surprised when I have the expectations come back towards you.
Exactly.
And that's the part that a lot of women don't want to play fair when it comes to the social marketplace, when it comes to sexual value. Not even just sexual value, just dating, mating, and marriage value. Is it against a guy? I try to keep myself in relatively good shape. I mean, I'm not going to walk across the stage and miss the Olympia, but I'm rather easy on the eyes for what most women tell me. I try to be a great dad. You know, I have a decent career as a police officer for the last 13. Before that, I was working armed security and the military. So I've been wearing a
And now the sergeant as well. Don't
yeah.
forget that.
Let's try to get sergeant as well. So even past all that, I have a great sense of humor. It's very wicked. When I converse with ladies, they are intoxicated by my intellectual charm, but I'm not supposed to have expectations for the women that I meet. See, the problem that we have is that men need to have a standard and stick by it. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's like, can someone please tell me where are we wrong by that? So am I wrong for thinking that having expectations for your women is something that's needed?
The black man is not expected to have no standard, bro. You're supposed to take them as is.
But yet, are you gonna take me, sup and Mary? Whoa! But am I supposed to have a stake in this claim? Because you got to remember when you're dating, it's like the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a risk.
Oh yeah. What's good to the great liberator Mary Brown? What's good, brother?
Shad Crystal. Woo! See, what we all need to do is pray that we can find a good mate. Pray that we can find somebody compatible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ori. But there's a lot of people who want something for nothing. Exactly. The problem I have with it is this. A man, black men in particular, are not supposed to have expectations. You're supposed to take every ounce of shit or excrement for all you intellectual that whatever woman gives you.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be the single man at 25 years old who's starting his career, starting his life as a man on his own. You're supposed to come out there, pull pull the dress shirt right off, and have six Captain Saberho on your t-shirt. You're not
Mm-hmm.
supposed to go out there and achieve without taking the struggle woman. You're not
Mm-hmm.
supposed to go for the attractive woman with a good attitude, who's inspirational and supportive and loyal to you. You're supposed to take the person who nobody else wants and take her bullshit.
Yep.
But yet, if you ask women to do the opposite and fulfill their duties, you're asking too much. Of course, not intellectually dishonest. We know it's not all, but we damn sure know it's too many. So, so I'm trying to think, chaos. Where am I wrong?
The only issue we have when it comes to black men, because we'll take anything and most likely don't respect or want anything in return, it's testament of how we see ourselves value wise as a collective as a whole. So to be honest, you're not really wrong in what you're saying or what your dissertation is being expounded on. I think the biggest issue when it comes to these discussions is that how much will it take for black men to really put his foot down and say, you know what, these are my givers and these are the ones I will not take. I mean, it gets to a point where you just get tired of just getting real tired. Um, and I think in the space of YouTube, this is the only thing that's popular between amongst men and women is regards to date and mating aspects of black people. And I think when I think critically on this, bro, why most people watch and hear these type of conversations, because a lot of people by default don't want to be alone. And nothing's wrong with that because we assume we should not be alone. But we seek for mates. We seek wholeness, as a people. And as a man, we can go through earth as a monk or anything, and it's okay. No shame. You know what I'm saying? Not all of us gonna do it. And I wish all black men do this. But as women roaming this earth, you need somebody to compliment you at the end. You know what I'm saying? When I hear this talk about say that you find yourself in this purpose, I only hear it from our sisters, but I don't hear it from other cultural groups of women. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Because
crazy.
out of
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
they were bred out of, to play their role as women.
See, it's crazy because actually, I have to highlight this again. We should expect what we are willing to give. Yes, we should.
Mm-hmm.
But when we talk about it, it's almost like the ugly family secret. You know, you don't want to talk about how, like in a lot of black families in the South, you had this lady who you thought was your sister the entire time was really your mom. And then when you grow up and you're confused because this is a blow to your system, you're like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on here? Why did you lie to me? Well, I didn't want you to get hurt, and you know damn well if you tell the motherfucker the truth, you're gonna hurt him. Instead of starting out, what are you gonna do in the beginning? Woo! Shout out to Mike White, one of my former coworkers, good friend. Woo! And I say this to make all the men and women in the chat think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the Cash App if you feel inclined. It really makes me think that when you have expectations of getting a half decent person that you're attracted to, guess what? If you're a five, get a five. You could go from 4, 5, 6. And that's reasonable. If you come home and you're married or you're in a long term relationship where you live together, You expect your wife to cook or your girlfriend to cook. Well, what's the first thing you're going to hear? Yep, make that money, man. The first thing you're going to hear is, I was working all damn day. I'm tired. But if something's broken in the house, you expect that man to do his manly duties. You expect him to cut the grass, regardless if he worked overtime or not, regardless if he had a long day in the office or not. So, expecting your girlfriend or wife not to be doing her part, her womanly duties, that's a wild expectation, chaos. Like,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
I'm glad you brought up the topic of top 10%, top 15%. Top 15% of black men make 100K.
Hmm.
Most black women don't even see that type of man. Rare. I even
Ain't
told.
that
Go ahead.
and that is really telling, bro, that okay, you don't see these men as making to that level of income a year. So it makes me wonder, what are you doing to put yourself in position just to get just that type of man? I mean, if you get somebody that's up to high 80 or more, I mean, that's just a start. It might not be perfect, but it's just a start. You get me, bro? But you're not even getting them. What's that saying, bro? Let's keep it.
Exactly.
Let's keep one. Let's talk about this, ladies.
Like, I want you to look. Read what my man Mike White just said.
All right, hold on.
And he's a police officer.
All right. I made 160K last year. This man works in police officer. Oh wow, that's good. I'm not sure what he does. He be a detective, but that's great, bro. That's great.
But that's just working, making your money, doing your secondary, making your overtime. But yet, we're not allowed to have expectations. We're allowed to
Mm,
work till we die.
yeah.
We're allowed to take bullshit of the world that gives us.
Hmm.
Gotta light this motherfucking cigar. Everybody in the chat, give me a woo while I light this damn thing.
Hmm. And I should be on a show, bro, but you know. Right next time. There we go. Hmm. All right. There you go.
See, what makes it funny is that you got to realize, and he's also in school as well, making 160K. Oh, we're gonna drop the link in a minute, Amir.
Hmm.
Remember this.
Oh, we got platinum in the building. All right.
What's up, Platinum? Woo! What kind of cigar am I smoking? It's called Spades, white label. Got to class it up a little bit. So, and I can only speak for black men because that's the only goddamn man I know how to be and will be.
Hmm.
You get all this shaming language, especially if you're a child of the 80s like myself. You hear it from being a child from all kinds of people. Black men ain't shit. Black men aren't that.
Yep.
But our generation, which I'm a really, really, really late Xer, but I have a lot of millennial traits because, we were in that transition period. Even though I was born in 82, but 85, below 85, you're millennials. So we share a lot of traits. And you notice all the rhetoric from media, from our women, and even some of our men, and some of the fucking laws that treated black men like we weren't shit. But once they realized we were the best fathers, the hardest workers, like black men will work a job if you give it to them. We were the most dedicated. we we would believe a black woman says something and come defend her with our lives or kill for her. But we're not supposed to have any expectations of her? Hmm. I question that very greatly. My man Mike said, some of us are not realistic and honest within ourselves. Thank you. Thank you. That statement alone is like Mount Everest being dropped right on you. The man has to understand of his expectations. I just got off the phone speaking to a friend of mine when she asked me about what are my expectations about dating and mating. If I'm willing to get myself up and work out, watch what I eat to a certain extent, be an intellectual man, try to be a little cultured, try to be a little warm and cordial, even though sometimes my personality says fuck you. I have to physically override that Aries part. And I'm trying to do the best to set an example because remember, the man is the leader and he always has to set the example. What's wrong when I said, hey, it's your turn? Do we get pushback? Lady T, she said to Mike, can you answer that question? Why marry outside your race? Hmm. There's a lot of factors, i.e., one, old school couples, stay at home life, and the man is the provider. When isn't the man not looked at as the provider? Even to this day, men are still looked as such. We're still held to that standard.
The burden of performance never leaves us, regardless
No,
how we feel.
never.
And that's one thing ladies don't understand. No matter what position a man plays in his role, whether he's a bum, a rich man, middle man, son, he always, in the back of his mind, a good portion knows that in this world, the world's not gonna give him no, they ain't gonna give him shit. And knows that if you cannot meet the burden of performance, that's where you will be and remain. And it hurts a lot of black men today that a lot of ladies don't understand that most men, regardless of how they view themselves, they always know this because this is the thing that we cannot skip as men because reality tells us every day that what, Charles, we ain't shit.
No.
So
Despite,
what do we gotta do? Prove ourselves wrong. That's simple.
despite the fact of the matter that we go out of our way to prove that we are are the shit, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the matter that statistically, when you're with the father or a two-parent household, child abuse and child neglect go significantly down. You're four times more likely to be abused as a child in a single mother home than a single father home.
Facts.
But we have expectations of protection even when you're wrong. But we have the expectations that we're not going to live together, that you're going to take care of our kids and not let any old man be around them. And he answered your question. I would marry outside my race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't entertain that either. You know what I'm saying? I rather deal with some woman that's probably either browner or something. But to date completely, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And to be honest, the reason why I would say I wouldn't do it because I've actually come to realization about women in general, other race women, and our plight as men. That if I'm really serious of carrying some lineage, it has to be somewhat still black. You know? So that's one thing I can tell you, ladies, from my perspective. I can't speak for another man, but that's how I want to leave a legacy in that aspect. But hope that answers your question from not only Charles but from me. Go ahead, Charles.
See, You gotta understand the expectations when people say why marry outside the race. I'm gonna hit on that for a second.
Okay.
Number one, if a black man in 2020 still catches hell for being in interracial relationships, especially with white women, what does that say to the cast and characters of the women now? And remember, yesterday we had a guy come on here and say, "Oh, they're dating interracially." What's the number one thing about dating and mating? It's proximity.
Yeah.
You date,
Exactly, bro.
you sleep with the women closest to you. If I'm a black guy surrounded by white women, chances are I'm going to be dealing with white women.
It's logic.
If I'm in the middle of Iowa, which has 2% black people, guess what? Most likely, if you want to have sex, it's probably going to be with a white woman unless you're moving.
Exactly. And
So,
right, that's how it is.
so let's get to the submissive part because I was talking to a female friend of mine. She even had to admit to most black women, the word submission is a dirty word.
Mhm.
It's vulgar. It's slavery. It's dictatorship. You cannot be afraid of being submissive. And it's like I told her, see, women, especially this modern woman, not just black women, this modern woman with this feminist ideology, especially if she's going to college, hell, even in grade school, you're taught that men and boys and girls are equal. And you're telling me right now that you're winning, not being submissive. You're actually losing husbands for not being submissive. You're losing boyfriends for not being submissive. Then we'll tackle another subject. Why y'all getting younger women? You're in your 30s and 40s and you're looking for 20-year-old women because they're moldable. We could put the expectations on that because she's gonna wanna be on that plan. She wants to fulfill those expectations and prove to her man that she's a worthy woman, just like that man has to prove that he is worthy of her support, vitality, and beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, introduce yourselves on the platform, gentlemen. Woo!
How you doing, man? It's Platinum, man. I'm familiar with Chaos. I've been on pounds with him before. My first time joining, your channel right here. And so whatever. Hello to the panel.
Woo! Next person, introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Iori, and I've been on a lot of different panels with Charles and Platinum and Judge and everybody. So shout
Yeah.
out to everybody and all that
Oh,
kind of shit.
I know Judge. I know. Is that the one with the eye, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got a
It's,
different. Okay, you got a different. Okay.
yeah, I was on that stream with Zero when you were on it, Platinum. So,
Okay.
but yeah, like going back to this whole thing about submission and people having problems with that and stuff. Like in 2020 in the modern dating dynamic, people that aren't submissive as women are losing out on quality men, and they're going to continue to do that because they have a lot of competition, and a lot of these women are willing to be submissive for men that have their shit together. So if other women are willing to do that and you're not willing to do that, you're going to lose and keep losing. The problem with all these women is they're too stubborn to realize how long they've lost for and what kind of negative situation it's put them in. They're too stubborn to realize that. And as long as that happens, you're going to have non-submissive women lose over and over again to submissive women. It's just not even something that is argued anymore. You know,
Well, But one of the
no.
things,
This is the problem that I think a lot of women don't take in for granted until it's too late. Like I was sitting here, I just use like any relationship you've been in. Most of us men here, like I said, you move in, y'all get together. Most of the time, as you're in a relationship, the man mostly pays for majority of the things in a relationship. You don't realize how much money you actually save by being in a relationship.
Yeah.
Especially like after by the time you get married or even by the time you start coexisting living in one house. So basically, instead of y'all having two houses where the minimum amount of bills you're gonna put in two houses, say an average somewhere $1,600 a month. But now you go from both of that to one. Now your utilities might go up a little bit, but you may go up to $1,800 a month when it comes to total household bills. But instead of each of you paying 16, y'all just splitting and not in 1,800. So that's way more money to spend on other shit. And you don't realize you end up living a better quality of life, even if you get a guy who say you make 40 and he makes 20. You still have more money between the two of you, and you come out ahead. I sit here and laugh. These motherfuckers would rather. I am not gonna lie. I would rather say I make 70 and she makes 30. I would rather be in that relationship with that woman that makes that 30,000 than to be in no relationship at all. Especially if we can work together to do something. You
And
don't realize it's just a win all the way around. But these women, it's like if I can't be spoiled rotten, act like a goddamn fool, don't have to do not a damn thing at all, I'm not doing it all. It's like we want 150% or nothing. And they
now
don't realize that's the reason why other women are taking their men.
Yeah.
let me say this real quick because a shout out to my boy Mike White again. Speak on prime years, Charles. Okay, I will. As people know me from many different panels I've been on, people know that I don't hold back shit, especially when it comes to expectation of men and women. See, a man is expected his woman to be the best possible candidate to be his wife, just like that woman should expect that man to be the best possible candidate to be her husband.
Sure.
Too many women have these expectations that are unrealistic when it comes to I need to get my education first. Not one time during the 4 years that you've been to school have they said, hey, I'm around all these upper echelon men, or soon to be. She expects you at 21, 22, 23 to be making what? 75, 85, 100K,
100. Yeah.
which is impossible. It's unrealistic. But yet, you're not supposed to expect any loyalty, any respect, or anything that is becoming of her as a woman. You will go from what? 15 to around 30, 15 good years. I don't expect a 15-year-old to have a child, so we'll say 18 to 30. And she will waste away her years, all that vitality, all that beauty, all that loyalty, all of that fertility to a guy that she knows, I say that with quotation marks, is not a good candidate to be her husband and the father of her children. But you're not expected to say anything about it.
But
What's your take on it, fellas?
what you got as a man, you got to put your foot down.
Yeah, you have to.
And I'm saying when I was saying, and I wasn't trying to put all the emphasis on the man. When I say a good man finds a woman, whatever, he has to make her a good woman. You got to establish rules early on of what will and what won't happen. And that's the difference when you're dealing with these brothers who are white collar academic brothers, logical brothers or whatever. They're looking at the female and from the wrong position. That's why the broke dude, or what y'all call the Pookie and Ray Ray, that's why he has, well, in many cases, he doesn't have any say because he ain't got nothing but dick. But what I'm saying, the other type brothers, when they're a little bit more harder on them, it's easier to put them in their place because they know he's just not going to tolerate that bullshit. And he's the man, she's the woman. And he's raising her just like he raises his children. She has to submit, or there is no relationship. Simple as that. And you got to do that, and that way you save yourself all the trouble. Too many men just want that woman, that particular woman, so bad they make all of these compromises going into a relationship, and then they wind up with the short end of the stick on the back end.
Right. Yeah. See, as a man, if you don't set the agenda, the situation is lost. From Jump Street, you've got to set the agenda that basically says this is how we're gonna run shit. And if you don't want to run shit the way that I'm gonna run shit, then you need to find somebody else because I ain't fucking with the shit. And the moment you say that, a chick has one of two options. She either fucks with your program or she doesn't. And if she doesn't, she's doing you a favor because she's saving you the time to basically blow her out anyway. Because there's nothing that you can do to salvage that. And it's gonna basically be something that's gonna hurt you in the long run. And the problem with these guys that really don't know how to actually set that situation is they end up getting manipulated and get frustrated because they have no earthly idea of the importance of setting the platform. Period.
And you can't let her constantly use the pussy as a carrot.
Right.
I.e., if you don't, we falling out, we into it. I don't want to see you right now. I can't talk, you can't do that. You got to let her know, look, this is how we gonna do things. Now, hold up. What I do and what other men should do is when they present themselves to be aggressive whores, like you just a hoe, treat them like that. Be like, okay, fuck all of that other shit. Look, I don't want to date you. Look, let's just do it like this. How much? I'm serious. So you just a hoe. I thought I was trying to get something out of you, but I see you just want to be a hoe. Okay, we can do the damn thing. I'm just saying, look, a lot of niggas don't want to go down that route, but I'm saying you still not tying yourself to her, whether she's eating up your time where emotionally and you're trying to get something out of it. She's just a hoe. You treat her like a hoe, which is going to be offensive to her up front when you do, especially if she's not trying to. She's really that way, but she's not trying to present that image.
Right.
Here's the part that I want to tackle. Is it the man's fault for not setting those expectations?
Right.
Yes, it is our fault, Charles.
So, according to Sister George, still got no fault, but I had to book her shit. I don't go hard. You don't be going hard on them guys who get child support and do this and do that. Anybody who knows me, I go hard in the fucking paint and say, look, if you got child support, we'll deal with it. Hell, I'll even try to find resources for him to either be lessened or to get your kid or to discontinue the child support. See, the problem is that when you build those expectations, they're going to be like you. They're going to look at you like you're some uppity Negro.
Right.
You sound like you sort of unplugged your mic, Charles.
Oh no. What about now?
Like it's not fully plugged in.
It sounds like it's far away from you, bro.
What about now?
It's better. It's better.
So when you have this statement of the uppity Negro, it's funny because you're not supposed to count the fact that I was out there having a bunch of kids with guys, and none of my kids have the same last name, by the way. We're not supposed to take that into consideration. We're not supposed to take that you were partying and sleeping with people. We're supposed to treat you the same. But then when we find a wholesome woman, instead of congratulating that man, he learned shit anyway. she ain't that pretty. Why not be happy for the individual? Why not? What does all that vitriol and hatred gain you? But once again, I refuse, like many men here, and even women, like I refuse to be looked at as an ATM with a dick.
Right.
You bouncing in and out, man. You sound real good then, and then you went back out.
So,
Yeah,
can you hear me now? What
yeah,
about now?
we can hear you, bro. You're good.
Well, what about-
We can hear you. You just sound far away. It's that
Oh,
Baltimore Wi-Fi.
probably still
But
completely.
one of the things I've noticed, no, it's still the same. But one of the things I've noticed with relationships and all like that is it's basically it's it's like if you sit up here like and I mean like you listen to shows and you just like put everything in context. And this is the thing, as a woman, you should never want to be like, well, if I had a man that was doing all this, I would be that way. Because most men who got anything going for them already knows either they had a friend that's been burned or whatever. You don't even date women who got those characteristics in it. One of the things we got to stop, you got to realize, wait a minute, why am I going to date? We got to start holding them accountable on that. And we got to start telling men, got to know, oh, well, wait a minute. You did that to your last baby father? Oh, then guess what? All you can be is a jump off at best.
Emergency.
Once you make a mistake, you got to hold them to it. But a lot of times people say, well, she won't do that to me. But I'll say that we've been born and raised to get people. We're very forgiving.
Right.
This is the problem. They've raised the men to be super forgiving, but they've raised the women to take no prisoners.
Right.
And you've created a society that's fucked up. And then they got this is the reason why you see the only way the men to really win is just to avoid the situation at all. But then the first thing they do is say, oh, well, that's why you see, you don't even have to say anything like call them no names. Oh, you're blasting women. What are you talking about? I didn't call you no names. All I did was, like you said, if you were overweight, I said you're overweight. I mean, it is the truth, but it's because you just didn't like the truth, or you can't handle the truth, it's a problem. 2 plus 2, we know that's 4. But we're going to sit up here and say now that, that's the answer to the problem. That's what it is. Unfortunately, it's 4. You may not like 4, but it's 4.
Sure.
They're just so scared to call a spade. And I'm not going to lie. Women don't realize they've already dumbed it down to the fact is, in a minute, like I said, that each generation is getting further and further separated. Like you see, more boys have knocked the shit out of a woman so quick now. I mean, that is not funny.
Well,
but so like if you see, it's not even. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even raise my son to say don't hit a girl. I don't do that because unfortunately, the women's attitudes have changed. So I'm not gonna put him in that trick bag. I try to tell him to avoid it, but I ain't gonna say don't hit a girl.
Come on, it's not.
Yeah. See.
Let me get this out the. Let me say this. You gotta say.
Go ahead.
Like young boys, underage and over the age or close to 20 or over. The only reason why you see them take physical violence on women or young girls is because they are been structured and groomed by their mothers. If they're structured by men, let's keep going. Let's be honest here. Well, we all know how a young boy conducts himself depending on who's grooming, who's raising. Now, regardless if the father was there or not, it shows reflection on the young boy's character, on what he's conduct himself. He know damn well he's not going to strike unless he has to defend himself, which I advocate most boys to defend himself, because some of these women are very aggressive and dangerous now. They even go as far as almost try to use weapons to stab and hurt black men. That's another story. But they're not going to go out the way to physically punch a woman, punch a girl, or even go as far as take a skateboard and bust her back head. That's a result of ill-raised children. And if you only a mother that's not doing having a job, even help having the father around or give the son to the father, What you see is the result. That's why a lot of complain about where it's come from. You know where the fuck this shit come from.
And let me jump in for a second.
Yeah.
See that comes into the unrealistic expectations that men don't even put forth. Now there's that unrealistic. Well, the majority of unrealistic expectations are always going to sit with the women because women are hypergamous by nature. We all agree.
Yeah.
See, we have this expectation because too many, especially in the black community, are raised by single mothers. Whether that's good or bad, that's for another show. When you're not given the expectation or figure out the expectation of how am I supposed to treat a woman, like you said, that's parenting. That's not nurturing. Your nature as a man is being aggressive. You don't deal with force by using your words. You deal with force with force. Do I condone putting your hands on a female? No, but I will not be. I will not teach my son to be a victim.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
happens? And what happens during all this? They still expect you to be a gentleman, but you where was your where was your blueprint? And you're trying to make a guy who's a fucking career criminal a gentleman when you're giving expectations and you don't even know what the fuck a man is supposed to do.
Well, too, because you run them off. Basically, just to give you an example, if we can solve this with like change anything, change a couple of things. Matter of fact, we can solve the bad parenting by black women, especially if we just did this. When a black woman turns 18, right, we will give them their own place and all of that. Like give them, like say if they said, well, fine, you can have your own place and a reduction in rent for not having a kid, immediately pregnancy rates will drop 50 to 70% easily right off rip. Because a lot
So
of
let,
these people just popped
so
out a
let me
kid
ask you. So let
because
me
they
ask you
know
this
that
question.
that's a wait, they know that that's a way for them to be taken care of.
So let me ask you this question because you basically said, and let me make sure for everybody's viewing, and I have to say this in my most eloquent and gentlemanly voice. If you're enjoying what you see, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the
Yes.
cash app if you're inclined, because these
Yes.
cigars and these fine liquors don't buy themselves. Woo! But back to our regularly scheduled programming. So you're suggesting that we start a stimulus package to give them a better deal than what the government has put forth for 40 years.
Well, the only reason why it would never work, but I'm just saying is like say if you could do it like like a chamber result, definitely. Half of the that's the reason why. Think about it. You can tell the difference between a child that's wanted and a child that's just you were just a necessity. You were just something to make sure that I wouldn't get kicked out on the street. One, they sit down and read and care about the child. They sit the child in front of the TV all day. That's not a kid that was wanted
Uh-huh.
because that
So,
requires work.
so I'm gonna ask everybody this question. What are your ages up here? I'm doing this for a reason. How old are you?
Oh,
Or
I'm over 30.
what about Ori?
30.
I'm over
Platinum?
30. Yeah, I'm over 30.
Chaos.
Yeah, late Thursday.
I'm 38. So Judge. So what do you think the expectations of the modern man is for the modern woman? I want each and every one of you to answer.
All right. Well, who you want to go first?
We're gonna start with the youngest, Ori.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, bro. For me, you know, I expect a woman to cook and clean and uh, work as well if she wants to, and basically take care of womanly things, which basically means if we have a kid, then she needs to take care of raising the kid while I'm at work, or we'll raise them together. But that's kind of it. Like, just femininity in general. And the biggest thing that I require is to have a submissive, calm attitude, because there's nothing that I would do in terms of dealing with women that would basically attack me for no reason. That's a deal breaker. Period.
Okay, next, gentlemen, we're going to go with platinum.
Oh, well, I expect a woman to be to maintain a certain weight. I expect a woman to be, physically fit. That's a priority. That's an expectation. As opposed, I mean, like she gets up on a Saturday and goes and does a 5-mile jog, and I'm still asleep. I see her when she comes back. This is something that's habitual. I expect her to look her best. I expect her to be submissive, or we can throw that out since that's an offensive word. I expect her to listen to me, and the way I know she's listening to me, things are going to be done as I've already requested. I expect those things to happen, and a major thing is I expect her to be my cheerleader.
That's right.
I expect her to be my cheerleader. I don't want her to be my co-worker. I play for the Chiefs. I don't want her to play for the Raiders. I want her to be a Kansas City cheerleader. You're cheering for me. You're rooting for me. And that's always. I'm never going to be I'm not going to do it. I mean, I'll respect you in the sense you do something great. I'll pat you on the back and I'll support you. But I'm not going to be a cheerleader for you. It's about what I'm doing. And it's about
That's
you
right.
taking care of the kid. It's about you focused on being, a woman. Now, if we can't do that, we can't be together, because that's not what I want. That's not what I need in my life. I don't need a competitor in my life. I'm not trying to outcompete you for something. I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not a relationship to me. That's something else. Now, and the women who do that, and they do that, those are the women you want in your lives. It's just, and if you can't make a woman do that, this is where our egos get in the way. We get upset, man. We get upset and we get mad and we think that there are not women out there who will do that. And I'm telling you, there are women out there. You have to go out there and, go crazy and date a whole 1,000, 100 women. But you just have to use your brain, man, and find the ones that who are willing to do those things, just from a date or a conversation.
Now, Judge, if you're available.
Okay. Now, what I'll say, basically, I'll say this. I want the woman to, say we lay down the family rules. She has to support the rules that we've laid down, and enforce the rules that I set out. If on top of that, you're supposed to assist me in helping me, as they say, be my life partner. That's the problem. We just dumb it down to something that simple. But if you notice, a lot of these times, you're not even going to get that. We set a plan in action. We got goals that we want to accomplish, and you need to do your part to help us reach those goals. The problem is you don't need to be. Once we realize, you might want to get in your feelings, but once we realize if it interferes with the goal, then unfortunately you're not part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. You're part of the problem.
All right. Well, for me, like I said, the woman I want to deal with is lovely, respectful. She got at least be able to cook and clean, at least the basics. Every person should do it. Can't deal with a dirty woman, obviously. And I would say, if she work, that's fine. If she doesn't, we could talk how to get around that. But like I said, I'm a simple dude. I keep it simple. I can't tell a woman say, "Jimmy, you don't have to work," or "You have to work," because by default, live in America, most people going to be working. You know what I'm saying? All it says, if you're going to do it, be productive. You know what I'm saying? Being around me, these are a few things that I expect. As me as man, I do my thing. So that's clear.
So shit, is everybody waiting for my response?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Number one, if I'm willing to still exercise with a fucked up ankle and foot, I can't do lower body, so I got to sit down and do curl, chest, back, whatever I got to do it sitting. If I'm
Yeah.
still willing to put my physicality and my health, shut up because I still smoke cigars, so I got to counteract the shit. I expect her to do the same. I'm not saying you got to be pencil thin or you got to be an Instagram model, but just keep your body up. The better for not only for your health and longevity in the relationship, but you also want your man to always look at you as the attractive woman he started with in that relationship. You have to be supportive. You have to be loyal. You have
Yeah.
to be inspirational. I've said it once and I'll say it again, damn it. A woman can make a man be two things. She could either make you feel like Superman or she could be your damn kryptonite. There's no in between. She has to be able to cook and clean. Even if you don't do it every day, at least willingly, without me telling you, cook, clean.
At
Because,
least.
at
You know
least.
what I'm saying?
Because guess
It's
what?
basic
I'll do it myself
necessity.
too. Hell, I'll even help you. So you have to know how to go into the fucking world and to be a lady. If I ever get married, that's not just a marriage, that's a fucking brand. Okay? That is the Faulkner Foundation. Okay? We're a brand. We're trying to make them ends and the motherfucking dividends. Okay? We can't wait
Right.
time when we go out to wine festivals. You're supposed to be the woman who says, you know what, baby? I got an idea. I'm going to network and I got this business proposition. I'm going to go out there, smoozing, winning, getting numbers, getting emails. Shout out to Mike White. I'm Black Superman.
All right, guys, I got to step off, man. Got to hit the hay.
All right,
Right.
Judge. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for
All right.
jumping in, Judge. Take care.
See you later.
Take care, Judge.
And what I want to add to that, you have to be my best representative, just like I'm supposed to be yours.
Yeah.
You want your husband to come in there and you want him to bring some long stem roses and a show off in front of all your coworkers, making you feel like a goddamn king. But you can't do the same for your man, because men will always get the sacrifice. Remember, the sacrifice between men and women are different. It's like the equivalent of the chicken and the cow, or excuse me, the pig. One gives a little part of themselves, the other got to give some skin to get that bacon. You have to respect that sacrifice. You can't be, oh, you worrying about some other bitch. No, chick, I'm working overtime because we're about to go on this goddamn cruise. Who the fuck wants to go on a cruise without any money?
Right.
See, let me tell you a little history of Charles L. Faulkner Jr. Valentine's Day, when multiple girlfriends I had, they're coming with their little single rose or their little teddy bear, and when you got about 2 different delivery trucks, got to give you about 5 dozen fucking long stem roses and a fucking teddy bear so big you could practice your wrestling moves on them, and all these cars, and you looking like the shit when you're at work. Guess what? Hey, damn, I've had women who were so appreciative that, hey, I want you to come follow me to make sure I don't get stuck with the gas going to the gas station. By my surprise, she fills up my tank with hers, and we both had trucks at the time. Then she kisses me and hands me a piece of paper, which is like $100 fucking dollars. Don't you think that's supportive?
Yeah.
But that,
No, but the point you got to make, she got to be worthy of that. I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing wrong.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with doing that. Like if that's your game, like that's just the way you treat your women, and you give them that type of Valentine's Day, whatever birthday gift in front of all her friends. It's gonna make her feel great and all that. if she's earned it. You can't be doing that to these bitches, and these bitches are talking sideways and you know what I'm saying, don't want to do shit, act right, and you do blessing them like that. You can't do that.
Exactly, because there was one time when a chick asked me for something, and I got your gift right here. I gave her a nice little box, had the little wrapping and all the little bows and stuff in it, and it was a box of coal.
Nice job. Shoot.
So you know what happened? It made her think, why did I deserve this? Oh, I was being rude and I was being unhospitable to this guy. So you correct the issue. A lot of times I have to blame men for this. We don't, like we said earlier, we don't set the damn standards early.
Right.
And we don't adhere to our own standards.
Right. You know what it is? I feel like a lot of men don't value the importance of having a united front.
I got to correct you right there. I got to correct you. Excuse me for a second. I got to correct you. We're men. We don't feel, we think we do. There you
go. Sure. I think that a lot of men don't really understand that there's a genuine value in understanding that a man and a woman are created to build a united front in a relationship, and perhaps some men don't understand that because they haven't seen that in their own familial relationship. But the thing is, without building a united front and understanding that you have to have a united front, there's nowhere to go. There's absolutely nowhere to go. You know what I mean? And that's what everything should be built on. Without that, there's nothing else. Period. So.
See, when you have that united front, as you said, right? Let's look at it in terms of a country. America started with the 13 fucking colonies. So even before we were actually a united country.
Charles, you do sound like you're underwater, bro. I don't want to stop you, but you still sound on robotic. You
sound like you're underwater, actually.
Wait. Speak. I can hear you. Oh. Let's come back in. As y'all wait, please, support the channel, hit the cash out. Please like, comment at the end of this video, and subscribe to the channel. And share this video because this is very much.
What about that?
Yeah, you sound better.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
See, I like to take it from like a country. We're out there and we declare our independence, meaning if we're married or we're in a relationship, you can always get the inspiration and advice of your parents, but you got to understand this is our house. This is our castle. The standard is we got to live to a standard that might be different than the standards your parents and grandparents had because we live in a different time and day. You have to respect me as the man. Well, here's the question. A lot of men don't know how to lead. Then why did you pick that damn man in the first place? You should have been vetting him at the same time he should have been vetting you.
No, they just want control, bro. When I hear that conversation, it's like they want to take full control. So when they say lead, only when their terms, under their terms.
Exactly. And I want to speak on, LaShawn Jefferson. Woo! Reason gave your last name to. See, you got to understand something. I was speaking to a female coworker the other day, last night, as a matter of fact. Mike know who she is, but we don't snitch from Baltimore. She said, and I quote, "If you got married, what's wrong with hyphenating your name?" I said, "Nah, shorty, it's like the military, it's like the police department, it's like a gang. You fully in or you fully out. There's no sidestepping. This ain't heat wave and ain't no half stepping over here."
Yes, sir.
You either take the full game or you take the full ride out. I don't believe in that hyphenation because guess what? Like I had to tell her, you're a Christian woman, right? Why? But why can't we hyphenate both names? Because last time I checked, the man is the head. You're a part of his program. Let me ask you.
Exactly.
Let me ask you, Christian woman. Did God ever speak to Eve? And she was like, I said, no, no, no. Answer the question. She was like, no. Then how the hell am I supposed to take your name when he? And I said, what was the commandment that? Well, to love, cherish, and obey the man. And what was the commandments that God gave the man to do for his woman? To love and honor his woman. What was the commandments that God gave to the man? To the man was to love his wife. The commandments that he gave to the woman was to obey and respect that husband. He didn't even say love us because guess what? Men, we don't really give a fuck if you love us because we know love is seasonal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But respect is forever. Like diamonds,
It's
baby.
everlasting.
It's everlasting.
I,
Go ahead.
no, I personally believe that love is not even an emotion that is a man should have. No, I know there are men who are. I understand that there are men who are in love and all that, and books and songs, and especially in black men. You know, all types of songs. I'm in love, but I think that is a mistake. I think the bitch can be in love, and she can roll around in the hay and shit and head over heels, but the man should never do that because that weakens his masculinity within that relationship. I think that being a man, we as a people have been taught that being a man is somehow a pleasant voyage in our lives, and throughout history, men have always endured some grueling pain. It's part of being a man. Being a man, it develops you. You know that you're meant to go through that. That's simply why they always say, you know, save the women and the children. We're meant to go through a struggle. You know, now unfortunately, this society that we live in, it's not like that. Where you know you got guys that don't even want to play sports now because they might skin their knees or some shit like that. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you spoke about that
I'm glad you mentioned that.
because a man's road is the road least traveled. It's difficult. It's
Mm-hmm.
strenuous. Theodore Roosevelt said the strenuous life. He might have been a racist motherfucker, but he knew one thing about masculinity, the strenuous life. And I'm paraphrasing where he said a man should be physically fit, physically capable, should be ready to make a decision, should be ready to lead, and also able to follow other men who rank above him. And when you have capable men, the expectations of men, especially black men, here's the crazy part. All of our expectations were pretty damn similar, and they were not unreasonable, were they? They were actually very manageable. We didn't say you had to have a master's or above. We didn't say you had to be an Instagram model. Hell, we barely even talked about size. We just said keep your body up.
Just the basics.
Well, just the basics. We didn't even say you had to come from a certain pedigree. We didn't say that you had to always put the the salad fork with the dinner fork. No, we wanted basic shit. So when I hear from women, black women in particular, that says we have unrealistic expectations, no, sweetheart, you do. Because if you really think that you're going to deal with other races of men, I like to tell you something, sweetie. Other races of men, you don't even have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And we ain't putting up with the type of stuff that some of these women are used to other men putting up with.
Other races of men will go upside your head. Other races of black men will actually respect you, sit down and have a conversation with you, and try to plan things out with you. Other races of men will exclude you from the room of men and say, no, you go in there with the kitchen with the other women. Be
Mhm.
subservient. If you really want to see total submission, go to some of the Middle Eastern countries or some of them African countries. Hell, even
Well,
some European countries.
mm. Well, Charles, you would know because you travel across the world like anybody else that serve in the armed military or navy. That you guys see how they treat their own women, and you know it's funny how women talk about other foreign men, especially black men outside America. If they really check it out, other foreign black men don't put up with a lot of crap, and because you have a certain mindset here, you think you're gonna take your Western ass mindset and gonna go to another foreign black man, either he's here in America or outside, with that bullshit, you're gonna be in a rude awakening. And it goes to this. I remember the old man said this. Okay, if you say you want men that's achieved, that's very highly educated, have degrees and all that stuff, he said, why you don't go to the content? A lot of them don't want to go to content because one thing, now they gotta show and compete and have to act and conduct themselves like they have some goddamn sense. If not, upside their head. You see what happens in certain Muslim countries in Africa? They put women in a ditch, 6 feet under, with their head exposed, and take some bigger stones and bust them inside the head to the blood gushes on the back of the head. They don't fuck around.
Hell, we don't even have to go that far. Just go south of the border.
Okay.
Some of these men will literally butcher you for cheating.
Oh, yo, bro, you just on a different.
See, some of these, but yet, oh, I'm gonna go get me this type of man. You have the best. You ever wonder why? You ever why Consuela, Karen, Mei Ling, and Jasmine want your men? Because they know that you're not competitive when it comes to getting your man. They know that they can that though if cook clean and this guy would do all this shit for me, take care of the kids. He'll put me through school. He'll put me. He'll. All I got to do is maintain my weight. I've been exercising since God forever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't even eat like that. And one of the things that destroys black women's hold on black men is when they do venture out to a white woman or a woman of another, nationality or something. They're actually, that's their first time with a feminine woman. The way she coos her, or the way she carries herself, her giggles, her support, her the way her hair, it changes that man, because he goes from, man, I've been with these sisters and they're aggressive and they get off me, I'm catching a cramp, never supportive, and now he's with this one woman and she's girly around him, and it changes him. It changes the way he perceives the opposite sex, because it opens up something in him that hadn't been open, and that's why they become so, when they want to date out and they want to date those type women, because they can't find that within that black group of women.
Right. Other groups of women look at black men as being undervalued assets. They see the value in black men and are willing to put the investment in because they understand that the value is there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you said that, because this is where I like to coach the black woman. I like to support the black woman, especially those who are fortunate to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me you could go down the street at Morgan State, and it's one of the best engineering schools in the country. You can't find any suitable husbands there.
Mm-hmm.
You see, black women want to go off of the here and now than the potential. Every other woman's going off the potential, and she will do everything in her power to support that man to make that potential become reality. She wants that kinetic energy to come out of that potential. You cannot realistically look at that young man and say, well, he just graduated college, he should be making this. You graduated college along with him, the same class. Are you making that yourself? So yeah, you're gonna have to stick with that brother for a while. You're gonna have to develop him. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to literally do what you were put on this earth to do and incubate his dream. You're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
nurture
Mm-hmm.
that dream because you will benefit the greatest. Your children will benefit that you will have with them. I mean, I've seen more women have more wannabe trap queens and support a drug dealer carry the pack, carry the gun, than supporting a brother who's going to go get his masters. I mean, think about it. Dr. Tia Son Johnson, he actually got his masters at 21. What the fuck?
Wow, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. You get a brother who gets a master's at 21, you better fucking pop, lock, and drop it.
Yeah, but
You better
Mm-hmm.
you better cook like an old Baptist grandmother. You better keep him locked, cocked, stocked, because you know what's gonna happen. Becky, Consuela, and Mei Ling are looking. So is Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
She getting off that carpet, that flying carpet, and looking at the Arabian Nights. Oh, he got that at 21. So 10 years from now, we're gonna be making how much? They're doing all kinds of arithmetic and quantum physics in their head just off the potential alone.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where I coach the
But
sisters.
it goes back again. They trained for that. A lot of races don't look for potential. I said, who you been checking lately?
All right.
Because see, you gotta be careful here. You gotta be honest here. When women talk that crap, I look at say, how are you? You have kids? Oh, you're in the danger zone. Matter of fact, you're in the wall stage. I think the last person to take advice is from you because you haven't seemed to attract the man what you need and got married and got settled. But you up here guiding other young women that want to or seeking to persuade them not to and to scare them and shame them. See, this is what I'm telling a lot of ladies that's going to play back. Stop listening to other single women that have not accomplished, not even got a ring or got married. Stop it. Matter of fact, if you're a woman that's seeking marriage, I would advise have a circle of women that's already married. Start from there. Stop dealing with friends that's in your circle that seeks not to get married, much as want to live that hot girl summer life for years and years. Because misery loves company. That's why we look at a lot of marriage that really start to really dwindle down once you're married. I tell you, you're around still single women. Cause you give them your advice, ask what to do for your man on stuff. They don't got no man. Hell, they can't keep a man, and you take advice from someone that's single. How backwards that is. For all I know, they probably turn your back and fucking your man, right? You're not. So that's all.
It
nah, man,
goes back. It goes back into look.
hold on,
You're gonna have
you
to
brought
put
up,
the. Oh,
you
go
brought up
ahead.
the 21-year-old guy, right, who has his master's, right? A lot of times, see, this is another thing that's not said in these spaces or whatever on YouTube is, and this happens. You saw it with you saw a example of it with the NBA YoungBoy guy and Yana Mayweather. That wasn't him. I mean, he's an animal, and he has a bunch of kids, and he's an animal and a heathen. Okay, I agree with all that. But the reason, and Ayana's stupid and misguided. Okay, I give you that. But it's really his mother, and a lot of times the mom. What you're saying, it's not those girls. It's not that child. It's the mother who normally says he's got a master's at 21. They're the one to say stop twerking. I want you to him. That's the guy I want you to date. I don't like him. No, listen to me. That's the one I want you to date. He gonna be able to take care of you. You shut the fuck up and you do as I. That's normally them.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
glad you
sir.
brought up.
Preach, sir.
I'm
Preach.
glad you brought up Iyana Mayweather. Your father is worth anywhere from 500 million to close to a billion. Because a lot of people don't follow combat sports as closely as I do. He has the money. He has his fingers in real estate, very heavy. He literally has checks that he has yet to cash from his last what 5 to 7 bouts. That's how
Mhm.
much money he's living off of residual. Okay? They don't call this motherfucker Money Mayweather for no reason because it's just a beautiful moniker.
Mhm.
She's literally a fucking boxing princess.
Mhm.
And because women who I like to call I'm not as eloquent as the good Dr. T.S.on Johnson, but I'll put my little theory up there. I call it the Lois Lane theory versus Wonder Woman, especially the new 52 versions. Lois Lane loved the image, the prestige, and the name of Superman. Wonder Woman loved the person who was Clark Kent, if you get what I'm saying. She
Mhm.
loved the fact that this guy loved her for her and she loved him for him. Not what he can do, but who he is. And that's exactly what she did with the NBA young boy. Wait a minute. You want to stab up one of his baby mothers over a guy who made a song about you, dissing you. And I'm pretty sure, because guess what? Believe it or not, Mayweather is a very loving father. He's very
Yeah, but
instrumental in his kids' lives. Have you noticed? He has all his kids with him.
yeah, but you
But
gotta understand.
you can't tell a motherfucker. You can make all the money in the world, put them in the best schools, put them in the best situations, put them in the best housing, the best living spaces, but something about that hard-headed fucking nature.
Well, they're naturally rebellious, but I think Mayweather made a mistake. I think because she graduated, somebody was talking about. Cause I think she just doesn't understand game, you know, and she got sucked in. But she graduated at 15. And I said, man, what the fuck you mean that girl's dumb? That girl graduated at 15. I don't know why she didn't go to college. I don't know, whatever she decided to do or whatever. But because I was saying, I was like, okay, you put her on. I say, okay, she want to fuck. Okay, that's what a lot of young women do. I say, you take her. You put her at the University of California. You put her at the University of Florida. You put her at Harvard. I mean, wherever she can go, right? She's a smart girl, and she can fuck them dudes there. I said, you don't allow this rap dude to manipulate her, which is she's being manipulated. I said, you prevent that. Now I said it's not. Now I saw a video of her mother. I said, it's not him. That's her. That's coming from an old hood rat mother who's fucking those girls over. When he brings them back, she talks to him. She lies to him. Oh, he loves you, baby. Oh, he was over here the other day crying about you. You didn't know that? I know what
Exactly. And
yeah.
then how many times have mothers put other women against their sons?
Yep.
How many times did she, oh, well, he got such and such, knowing that it's going to start some drama because, motherfuckers need drama like Superman needs sunlight, like
Yeah,
some
and
damn solar radiation, like it gives them godlike powers. Like,
as his hood rat mother also, because I noticed, I don't really keep up with his music, but I went because of that. I went and looked at his history. He always has the women fight over him, and I said,
mhm.
where's he learning? Because I said that's sort of pimp game, and I saw his hood rat mother, and I was like, I said that she must be she's an old hoe who's picked up a lot of the game from pimping. And I said, so what she's doing is she's lying to these bitches. I said, so she's getting these bitches at each other so that when he runs around, he's bringing them out of the house. Me and my mom have some food, and she's lying. Oh, you the one. Nah, he don't do you like. He don't do you like them other girls. And let me tell you something, baby. Now you gotta understand this old hood rat woman. That's not nothing that she's ever experienced in that protected lifestyle with Mayweather and his bitches, his baby mama or whatever. So it's unique. And then having barbecues and that's not something she experienced. So he's been lied to, baby. You a man? No, he gonna marry you, baby. I know. Don't listen to him. I used to be young like you too, baby. Believe me, I know my baby. He gonna marry. It's just gassing her up. So now she over there finna fight this murder charge, but she's young and dumb, and she, being manipulated. And she looking at, well, this woman's got all this money. This your daddy, Floyd Mayweather, this old hitback. Like, yeah. Oh no, baby, you ain't got to worry about nothing. I take care of him. And so I just like saying, man, y'all don't see that, y'all don't know that, and maybe they don't. And that's why it happened. And like I'm saying, that 21-year-old boy with that master's, none of those women are putting their daughters in a position to be with him. That's what I'm saying, because he could, but they're not doing it. So the women are not noticing him like that. They're like, I don't know, he's sort of like a bookworm. I don't like him.
But you know what's funny? Back in the day, there used to be something called like a debutante. Even black people had debutante balls. We had etiquette schools for men and women, young men and young women. We used to put them in, even if you were poor black, you would put your child in the best possible situation. I'm going to put you in this great school, even though we nickel and diamond over here, and I'm going to make sure you excel because you had the responsibility of bringing the rest of the community up with you. That was expectations of a man. That's why we think in a communal sense. That's our natural way of thinking. When you're dealing with people who have low to no expectations, you're going to get this type of behavior. And they think it's advantageous that you're going to get this drama and I'm going to prove that I'm a down bitch. Instead of trying to be a down bitch, why don't you be an elegant lady? You get more out of being an elegant lady. And I say this to a lot of brothers out there. Elegance is our weakness. Elegance is something that we fall for in love. It makes us grow. It may be a weakness emotionally, but it's a strength economic and physically and spiritually and emotionally. So when you actually bring your best, your most ladylike traits, and when that guy sits you down and be like, this is what I expect, these are my expectations, and you come out with yours, he's going to be like, wow, I have not just a woman, I got a lady.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, now we can't talk about that situation because the Mayweather, that happens all the time. We just are seeing it because, like you said, she's a billionaire princess, heir to a billionaire, which we look at that, and I agree. I say, man, it's fucked up. But that happens all the time within the white community. Those young women go bad. Good girl gone bad. They do. They wind up dating
and even in the white community. I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because we're gonna tell a dirty little secret. Since white women do it too, yes, they do. You're absolutely right. They do. But you know what they do? They have their fun. They clean up their act. They still get married at young ages.
They still get married before they hit 30. Mostly the average is like 28.
They have their fun. You think they don't take girls trips and do what God knows what?
Yeah, you're right.
But guess what? At some point, they know to clean their act. How many white boys think they're the second coming of Tupac? but when it comes to getting business done, they know how to clean that shit up. Know how to put on that 3-piece suit, and they know how to speak the king. Well, England has a queen right now. The queen's English.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They do run off with the tattooed biker. They drop out of college, and there is the judge or the lawyer. His daughter's doing that, and the family there's for like a year, but she winds up dusting herself off, coming back to the fam, maybe with a baby or whatever. But she knows how to drop the loser. I'm not sure that's gonna happen for this one because it's just them niggas, man. They not letting go of that bag.
Because you got to think, there's too many people who got hood dreams. There's too many people who have these, this power couple dynamic. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. It does not truly exist. Instead of trying to be a power couple, why not be powerful within your couple? Stop trying to live up to a Beyonce and Jay-Z, Barack and Michelle. That's exceptional. That's not even 1%. That's 0.1%. That's not even realistic, man.
Yep. You know,
So
and when you talk about Beyonce and Jay-Z, you can't forget the what Beyonce is. Beyonce is very feminine woman. So, and this is my issue when they say power couple. It's like these, to me, the man still likes a feminine woman. He's not trying to find his equal. He's not trying to find his business equal. Okay, you got, okay, she makes 150,000, you make 150,000. You go to Jamaica for a vacation, 2 weeks. As a man, you might just be saying, hey, look, I like fit, gorgeous women. My wife, she got the bag, but I'm just not sexually attracted to her. And I'm saying you might be on that beach and all them beautiful Jamaican women walking around in bikinis. You'd be like, man, why am I'm fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck that power. I'm like, fuck this. I ain't with just fucking on you. I got to fuck on something. I'm going to live my life. So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be so pressed on that. You still want your prize to be your wife. That's a sexual prize. I can't let the money come. I'm fucking on her just because she got a bag.
no, and then too, I see very few couples that last very long once the woman starts making more money, because that hypergamy starts kicking in,
Sure.
and she thinks she gonna. It's like you ever seen somebody who thinks one job is gonna be better than the one they left, and then come to find out they got to deal with a lot more shit for a lot less money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Same system.
Sure.
You got to be realistic in your expectations. You got to be reasonable. You can't ask for $1 million fucking expectations with 100 air money. You got to be willing to grow. You got to be willing to. You got to make sure your shit's good first. Because one thing about it, when you get to a certain level and you hang around certain people, it's like my dad used to say, you wanna make money, start being around people with money.
Mm-hmm.
Just mingle in them circles.
That's right.
Stop hanging around people with hood dreams.
Yeah. You see, men sharpen men. That's why I joined. I join a lot of panels, and I always tell dudes, is I'm trying to learn.
Shout out to Green McCain. Woo!
Yeah, I'm trying to learn at this shit too. I'm trying to enjoy the conversation, but believe me, I'm trying to sharpen my iron just like men sharpen men. And I'm telling you that and I'm not. I mean, I can't speak for all men, but that's not what. When I say my equal, my wife, someone on my side, I'm just not about a bag, because even though money is good, money is great and nice to have, I would rather have a companion that is a woman and just a total woman. I don't want a bitch. That's a boss bitch, and I don't want that in my home.
Shout out to Red to the Bone with the slick ass red hood. Woo. See, you gotta realize, men and women are never gonna be equals. No matter what the feminists, no matter what the indoctrination, no matter what the educational system says, we're complementary. Your femininity fuels my masculinity. Yes, I'm going to still be masculine without you, but your femininity will fuel it and strengthen it. Just like my masculinity will secure and protect your femininity. It's symbiotic. So we're about to end this thing up. I want all the fellas to give their last points. I'll go last, starting with Edo.
Yeah, man. I mean, money is nice, but respect and power is better. You know what I mean? So, like, everything is built on power and respect inside of a relationship. And love is nice because it's emotional, but power and respect is the thing that keeps the relationship together. Period. That's it. Love is an emotion, and
For women.
right, right. It's an emotion for women, and it's an emotion for some men. But men, for the vast majority of us, are logical. We we value logical, tangible results. So that's the bedrock of any relationship. That's all I want to say. Period.
Well, you can provide for your family, if you're married, or you can provide for your kids if you're not married and got them. And you can love, if you're going to love anyone, which you really ain't supposed to do as a man, you can love them when your kids, when they're, say, young, I say up to like 13, but you really need to stop that for your own safety, because once again, once they get older, 15, 16, and they start making decisions that you don't agree with, it can't cripple you. Just like we saw with let's bring up Floyd Mayweather. He did all that for his daughter, buying her G-Wagons and $5 million rings, and she still ran off with some piece of trash rapper.
Right.
And she still did it. So it wasn't even the money and the things, and the gifts he was doing that kept her in line. When she got to a point, I did what I wanted to do. So you can't be so in love with her that you go, so I'm gonna go jump off the fucking roof because my heart broke.
Right.
So
there's a lesson to be learned there. You give women not what they want, what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And what happens is, if you give a woman everything she wants and nothing that she needs, she gets ruined somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Super Trez. Woo.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, the man has to be the provider and take care of the family, but society is fucked up in the way that it thinks, with movies and songs and stuff, Alex, what Luther Vandross and all this love and all these all these guys singing out, that shit is toxic to a man. You don't ever want to even listen to shit like that. You want to just be a man, take care of your family, show a woman what you can do for them, and make sure they stay listening to you and following your instruction. And if they can't do that, like I said, I can't go to Hawaii for a vacation with a boss bitch. I don't want a bitch I don't want the CEO of BET. I've seen her. That's not my type. I want a feminine, beautiful, fit woman. And that's what I want. I don't want to go somewhere and I'm lusting after other women. I'm sorry. That's just not what I want to do. I live one time. And if they can't deal with that, like, she can go and find someone who wants her, as opposed to me, because that's not what I want. And
finish your thought, and we're going to go to Chaos Man.
And that's basically it, man. I appreciate you letting me come up, man. It's my first time coming through. You showed up on my front page, so.
It's good to be noticed, and thanks for the support.
Chaos coming
Rain.
in, Platinum. Thanks for coming in. It's nice to have you in here, and everybody else too. Thanks for having me.
That's all of y'all. Don't be a stranger. Now, Chaos. Last thoughts.
Yes, let me say this. At the end of the day, in regards to the delusion of our women, I'm just keeping it real with you. I keep reality and say it as is, and as much times our sisters don't want to hear it, this is the space right now you're gonna hear the honest truth. You don't have to love most of us men, but goddamn, you're gonna respect, because we're keeping it honest with you. Because at the end of the day, reality is gonna slap you in the face, whether you're 23 or over 35 years old. If you're not hearing from your peers, other female or other groups of women that you're around, your circle, your sisterhood, you're gonna hear it from the black man and other groups of men. Because we're gonna keep it honest. That's why I see moving forward, with even with certain chants like Samuels or anybody, they're just giving the honest truth and really telling you what you should be hearing. And as a woman, if you are really feminine and said you are, you respect that and make the adjustments. Like always, let the chaos reign.
Last but not least, the Falcon Man. The expectations of men, black men in particular, are not unrealistic. We're asking the least of you, and we're going to give you the best of us. If that is not good enough for you, then I feel sorry for you. Do not let your good years go to the wayside and think that you're going to come back when you had me for cheap. When you first met that man, he was inexpensive. Trust me, you meet him later in life, you're going to have to pay. That's if you were even allowed to be within his circle once he becomes an established man. Ladies, this is the Faulkner man speaking to you, and he's saying this out of love and true hospitality. Lean not to your own understanding. Put yourselves in a community of feminine women. Put yourselves in the court of married women. If you want, I've learned this from my days of wrestling, my days of boxing, my days of MMA. If you want to be the best, you got to train with the best. If you want to be married, you got to learn from married women, successfully married women. Those expectations that men has for you, that's the least you can do. And once you follow that, you will benefit and with abundance. Don't let your hypergamy get the best of you. Woo! Now hit my theme music.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.